No, it was
okay, but that was a terrible day.
Everyone was ringing me at about 11 to say, "You're right, did you get to school and okay?" And Mum's okay, and I was like, well, sure, cool. I'm glad Mum's alright. And they were like, "You not know, do you?" And I was like, "No," and it's all there.
And that was a few members of the public there reliving the poignant morning of the London bombings. Terrorism features a few times in our 15 headlines that shock Britain. That's what it's designed to do. It's like a vast, awful publicity stunt just designed to frighten and disgust us into submission. They like to pick high-profile places, events, and seize on particular moments. On July the 7th, 2007, just after we learned that London was to host the 2012 Olympics, the G8 summit in Scotland had made its commitments to African debt, and preparations for Live 8 had Britain on the world centre stage. The unthinkable, but inevitable, happened on the streets of London. Suicide bombers linked to Al-Qaeda blew themselves up on the Tube and a bus in Tavistock Square, killing over 50 people, injuring hundreds, and terrifying tens of millions. The 7/7 bombings are at number 11.
For months now, those who should know have been warning us it's only a matter of time before the terrorists target London. Today, the chilling sound of hundreds of emergency vehicles announced that dreaded day had come. And the lives of totally innocent people were being shattered in the name of a cause we don't even know. Whoever they are, by planting their devices on London's underground, the bombers knew how to hurt and how to terrify. As the survivors were brought to the surface, we began to hear stories of explosions that devastated carriages, killing and maiming. It took hours for the emergency teams to recover some of the injured from smoke-filled tunnels. These passengers eventually walked along the track to safety after an explosion on their tube train outside King's Cross station. Above ground now, the first thought was to phone loved ones to say they'd survived. Many were clearly in a state of shock, some still covered in soot. All glad to be alive.
1 minute minding your own business, bang, and we thought we were on fire. The smell, the smoke, you couldn't breathe, you couldn't see anything. It was just horrible. I just want to get home.
At what should have been the height of the rush hour, ambulances hurried in all directions. There'd been explosions near Liverpool Street and Edgware Road stations too. At least 35 people died below ground, but the bombers were not finished there. This is what remains of the number 10 bus, which was travelling through Tavistock Square near Euston Station, when an explosion blew away its upper floor. Ironically, it was carrying passengers who'd been forced to abandon the tube because of the earlier blasts. Many of them died despite the attentions of doctors from the neighbouring British Medical Association headquarters, who treated them on the pavement while they waited for ambulances. Normal life in one of the busiest parts of the capital has now been suspended. As just a few yards down the road here, they continue to care for the injured, and all around, groups of Londoners are standing on corners asking themselves what has happened here and who could possibly have done this.